Well, I'm happy to see that episode 3 continues the trend of using really badass songs at the end when they fade to credits. We get a Metallica song this time. Holy crap. I feel like this show is just going strength to strength in terms of that aliens experience. Because, oh my goodness, this one was, yeah, intense. And we get a lot more. I think we have a clear sign of what's to come. I have some theories that I'm working on right now, which we'll see if they pan out. So, the big thing with this episode is that, I mean, essentially, it's all about um, Prodigy gets all of the samples and takes them back to the lab on the secret island base of Neverland. Now, this is gonna, I'm seeing all sorts of bad things happen here long term because this is also the same base where these, like, robot children are living, right? And they're already messed up in the head because of everything they've seen on this ship. And now they're back and they're questioning reality and they're questioning all these things. And oh my god, there's so much let's just back it up a little bit. So, on the ship, a few things happen. First, we have Wendy saving her brother and in the process cutting the head of the xenomorph, but then also receiving a traumatic injury of some type. We just see basically after this fight scene, door door comes up. Her brother sees her standing there. There's a severed head next to the xenomorph, and she's standing there, but she's got like the white blood trickling in her head, and then she falls over. While that is taking place, we have um, our other synthetics, our other hybrids, in various places around the ship, including the two who are guarding the eggs, or one who's guarding the eggs, and one of the other ones shows up. And while they're there talking about the eggs, we get the cyborg from Weyland-Yutani who shows up. And he has a confrontation with them. And he comes to realize that they're not a threat. They don't have guns. They're acting like children. Why are they acting like children? He goes to upload his data to Weyland-Yutani. And while he's uploading the data, he's thinking to himself and he's questioning these. He's like, you clearly have synthetic bodies. Why are you calling yourselves, you know, children? And then he's like, when is a child not a child? And he does this thing where he creates like it looks like a contact lens, and then he surreptitiously gets his hands around the throat of the one of the hybrids, and as he's choking him, he's got his knife out and he's threatening him. And he's like, "When is a child not a child? Answer me!" And this is when we get Kirsch's character who shows up and basically confronts the cyborg who runs off. And at this point, Kirsch has won the day. He's got all the samples. He's got all the kids, minus Wendy, who's hurt. And then they take everything back to the Prodigy base. Now, Mr. Murrow, I think is his name, the cyborg security officer, calls into Weyland-Yutani, talks to the new head, who is the grandchild of the woman that he went to contract under. And he's like, essentially, he's like, everyone I know and love is gone. I'm going to get these specimens back if it's the last thing I do, because this is my life now. This is my life's work, and I'm going to make this happen. And unbeknownst to anyone, um, that thing that he placed on the neck of the young hybrid allows him to have a direct line of communication, and he calls in essentially as this kid is laying there at night, having you know thoughts, and he's talking to the kid internally, and the kid is freaking out. He doesn't know what's going on, but ultimately leads to this conversation of, can I be your friend? And this is going to turn out bad, and that's going to go somewhere. Meanwhile, one of the other hybrid children, I don't know all their names yet, and this is going to be where I have a hard time remembering who all they are. Um, One of the girls, the ones with the red hair, she's having like strange thoughts about reality and why don't I get to pick my own name and why is Wendy called Wendy? Why is she her favorite? She's having visions. She's like poking at her eye, and she's the one who almost got like the octopus in her face. So there's something going on with her. We also have Curly, I think is her name, who questions Boy Cavalier about why Wendy is one of his favorites. He says because she's the first, and she's like, well, I could be one of your favorite. I learned French, and all these other things. And you go back to his obsession. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. With creating a creature or some sort of a end result that can actually compete with him on an intellectual level. That's his end goal here. And he has this conversation with her, and he's like, you know, one of the interesting things about prodigies is they are children. And we call them children because they have infinite imagination, and that's why I put children inside of these synthetic bodies, because we have infinite imagination, and you could do amazing things with the power of technology. So he tells her, he's like, look, because Curly's obsessed with becoming the favorite, right? He's like, I'm going to give you some books to read, some videos to watch. Go away and study those things and come back, and maybe we'll play. And she's like, am I your favorite now? And he's like, no, but you're in the race. And so he's already cultivating this sense of favoritism, because ultimately he doesn't care about them as human beings, because they're no longer human beings, and he only cares about them in terms of he has created these creatures, and he wants to create something ultimately that can be on his par or better than him. And so the rest of them don't matter. So complex things going on within the heads of all of these children who are now hybrid beings. What's creepy about all of this is Kirsch is ultimately put in charge of all of the samples, because Cavalier realizes that you can't have human scientists in there because these things react. So he sets Kirsch to examining all of these things. And in the process of this, there is a really creepy, nasty laboratory scene, which is incredibly realistic from an alien's perspective, where they basically take one of the face huggers out of one of its egg sacs, dissect it, pull out a little egg, take a fake lung, or not a fake lung, but they take like a transplant lung, put it in a vat, take the little specimen, put it in the vat, and watch it go in and impregnate the lung. So they're breeding and creating their first xenomorph. And you know, this is not going to end well. They're on a base. We got a bunch of hybrid kids. Dude, this is not going to end well. Now, in the midst of all of this, as the facehuggers are crying out in pain, as this one is crying out in pain at being dissected, the other facehuggers appear to be reacting to it within their egg sacs, and also Wendy. Wendy wakes up and she hears this piercing scream in her head, and she's fighting against it, and she ends up collapsing on the floor, and that's when we get the Fade to Metallica song and Fade to Black. So it leads us to think that she's somehow now, and I don't know if it's because of her fight with the xenomorph. We don't know what's going on with that. Uh, so just somehow she has a connection to uh, to everything, and we don't know how she has a connection to the xenomorphs. Um, yeah, this is very, very interesting. I don't know where this is going to go, but it makes me wonder if they're going to have some sort of a way that one of the hybrids is going to get impregnated. I don't know. Yeah, synthetic bodies. I don't know how the creatures are going to react. It's the worst part about this is they're doing it all in a lab. Now, granted, it's in the middle of nowhere, um, but at the same time, there's lots of humans here. All the specimens are here. All the hybrids are here. Bad stuff is gonna happen for the rest of the season. I can't wait. Really good episode. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams 4:30 a.m. Central on YouTube and Twitch.